A very good evening, one and all. Welcome to the PwC suite here at the wonderful facility that is Platform 94 in Merview for what is arguably one of the highlights of the Connacht rugby year. We are talking the draw for the Connacht Junior Cup, and also we will include the draw for the J1C Cup. It is one of three major events that you're going to watch over the next 2 days, with tomorrow seeing the draws for the Connacht Junior and Senior Schools Cups C, B and A. The Junior Cup is special. First played for in 1905, it has featured some of the best games seen in the province in a long period of time. And it's an opportunity for players to really show themselves ahead of the Junior Interprovincials, which will be happening soon afterwards. But there's also more to it than that. The Junior Cup brings communities together. The Junior Cup brings spirit and loyalty and enjoyment that may not be seen throughout the rest of the season. Dare I say it, after what happened last season with Dunmore making the Junior Cup final, it also brings the odd piece of fairy tales. Now Connemara may have won the cup, and maybe not surprisingly in some ways, but still we've seen in more recent times the advances of the likes of Dunmore. We've seen Tuam doing phenomenally well in the junior plate, and the lesser known teams feel that they can really get one over the bigger sides when the competition comes around. Like I said, the Junior Cup is very special, but it can't be done without the incredible support and sponsorship that it has received. The Bank of Ireland sponsored this year's Junior Cup. They have been involved with Connacht Rugby since the very beginning. And now when I say the beginning, I mean 1885. They've been in Galway a lot longer before that. And it gives me a great opportunity to actually introduce the first of our guests before we get on with the draws themselves. And that's Brian Carey of the Bank of Ireland. And Brian, 1885, as you said yourself, the bank has been here a lot longer than that now.
Absolutely, you're stealing our thunder there. So we opened in Ayr Square in 1830, and we've been looking after the Connacht Rugby since 1885. We're obviously proud partners of the senior team. But it's the junior team, as you've alluded to and spoken so eloquently about. That's where the magic is. We're very proud of our partnerships on the ground and our network of branches across the province. And it's great to be here today to support those people on the ground who are the grassroots of Irish rugby.
But the two will go so well together. I mean, it's hand in hand. The Bank of Ireland is associated with every single town and village in this county and with Connacht Rugby, and the combination of the both, it does work for a brilliant partnership.
It absolutely does. Look, we started out ourselves all playing rugby in clubs and academies across the provinces, so to be a part of that growth journey, and hopefully we were talking off mic earlier on about some of those players that have come through those structures. I referenced Beavian and even who were visiting their school in Ballinasloe last week. They were up on their Instagram talking about that. So just it's a really proud partnership that we have, and we're delighted to be here again today to support it and continue that support into the future, John.
Now you have a rugby background, no more than myself, and the Junior Cup is very special. I barely scratched the surface. I mean, so many great teams, and our next guest can attest to this, have never won the cup, I must add, on the field. I mean, this is an opportunity. What's great about the Junior Cup is all bets are off. Every team is level at the very beginning.
That's true, back to scratch, and I know Castlebar are eagerly waiting this to see where it goes, you know.
Well, I think Alan Bann will be definitely waiting to see what happens. He's Castlebar's head coach. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But like we said, never stop competing. There's a mindset that when you think of Connacht Rugby, you think of the Bank of Ireland. You were mentioning our conversation off mic. I was reminding you, I have the famous European jersey from 2005, which has Bank of Ireland emblazoned across the front of it.
Absolutely.
That famous white jersey, some of the names on that shirt are no longer with us. Bank of Ireland definitely remains so.
Yeah, and we hope to be there for a long time to come. So it's a partnership that runs across all provinces and indeed the Irish national setup as well. So I certainly hope that continues for many years to come.
And so say all of us, Brian. Thank you very much indeed. It gives me an opportunity also now to introduce a man very well known to all of you, I have no doubt. A fantastic supporter of Connacht Rugby, one of life's true gentlemen, and a man I've known for a very long time, but that's enough of the Castlebar talk. Jimmy Staunton, our president, very good evening to you.
Evening, John. How are you doing?
Not too bad. As president, and we've kind of referred to it a little bit, I know it would be one of your dreams to see Castlebar win the cup. They've gone close in the past. They shared it with Connemara back in 2020, but that was due to COVID and the fact that no final was played. But I know Alan Bann, the head coach, the lads that are involved in the club, and there's some great names there, they'd love to have a crack at this.
Oh, they would, yeah. And as an old coach said to me once, the cup is the cup. Never mind the league. The cup is knockout. It's usually down to one score, and go anyway. Home advantage is a huge draw, and of all the competitions in Connacht, the Junior Cup, especially for the likes of Castlebar, one they never got their hands on. They shared it all right, but they've been in a couple of finals. But that is the premier competition.
You've been involved with rugby a long time, Jimmy, and you made a point I want to just elaborate on. It's something that we can drive home a wee bit. It's the sense that, you know, when you get a home draw, it's not just a game, it's an occasion.
Yeah. Well, you get the whole community out. It's like getting the village out. It's along the traditions of the GA. Everybody comes out to see the Junior Cup. It's usually first round is usually the middle of winter. Again, one kick, one penalty can close off a game, and it is down to that.
And we have seen it in the past. I mean, even saw it last season with Dunmore making the final for the first time.
Yeah, Dunmore, great team. They've had 2 really great seasons. They're a formidable team. They're one of the teams in the province to be reckoned with. Again, they would be one of the favourites for the Junior Cup. But there's a load of them. Connemara, Craigs. Don't rule out Ballina. They're playing really, really well. Everybody has a shot. Westbrook come up and do what they did a few years ago. So it's wide open.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to see what happens with the Junior Cup draw when it happens. But we're going to go first of all to the Junior 1C Cup, and that's what we will start with first. Now, the format for the Junior 1C Cup is fairly straightforward. There are 6 teams. First 2 teams will get a bye, and then the other 4 are drawn home versus away. No seeding. If you're drawn at home, you're at home. If you're away, you're away. And we'll get that draw underway now. We'll go through, first of all, who the 6 teams are. And they are, and I will bring them over here for a second just to show you before we put them into the cup. And then we'll get Drew Brown to draw the first team that will get by, and Jimmy the second, and then home and away after that, if that's okay. I'm going to just go through. It's our Ladies Boys Club. Ballina, team absolutely flying at the moment at all levels. Galwegians. Next up are Carey and Shannon, team that did incredibly well last season, I may add. Clare Morris, up and coming. And finally, Tuam, a team who've also been doing incredibly well at all levels over the past. So, Brian, if I can get you to put your hand in for a second, and we'll get the first of the 2 teams that will receive a bye. And that team that get a bye are Ballina. So, Ballina are given a bye, Jimmy. If you would draw the second team who will receive a bye in the Junior 1C Cup, sponsored by Bank of Ireland. And it is Carrick and Shannon. So, Carrick and Shannon and Ballina have been given a bye in the Junior 1C Cup. Now we go into the first round. These games will be played on the 12th of January. And the first team at home are Galwegians. So, Crowley Park will play host to Galwegians, and next team up, and that is Tuam. So it's Galwegians against Tuam. That could be tasty. Next up. So just for the record, make sure everything is official. It's Clare Morris at home. Always good at home, Clare Morris. And they're taking on our Ladies Boys Club. So our Ladies Boys Club are next. So that is the draw for the Junior 1C Cup. The first round will be on the 12th of January. And it is as follows: Galwegians against Tuam and Clare Morris against our Ladies Boys Club. And just to mention the teams that have received a bye, so they don't come into it until the next round, and that is Ballina and Carrick and Shannon, and that will be in the semi-final stages. The finals will be on the 3rd of March. Now, I also got this opportunity to tell you that this season, as part of Connacht Rugby's commitment to the community, and there have been plenty of stories about that in the past week, the finals for the Junior 1C Cup and Junior Cup will be played at venues around the province. So, no idea where that's going to be yet. That's all to be confirmed and decided in due course. But just to let you know about that the finals this season of the Junior 1C Cup and Junior Cup will be played at venues throughout the province. Just to mention, the final of the Junior 1C Cup, by the way, is on the 3rd of March. Now we're going to move on to the draw for the Bank of Ireland Connacht Junior Cup for 2024-25. I'm just going to bring you very quickly as regards what the format is for this. Now, you're going to have 9 teams in the preliminary round. That's 7 teams in Junior 1B, plus Corrib and Loughrea, who come up from Junior 1C. Craig's seconds are not in this competition. You can't have, club can't have 2 teams in the same competition, hence the reason why they're not there. We're going to have a preliminary round which features those games, and they'll be played on the 5th of January. Then we move into the first round proper. That's where the Junior 1A teams will come into the mix alongside the 7 teams who've received byes and the winners of the 1 preliminary round game. So if we can get the teams, and we're going to go through them, and what I will do is I'll hand over the Junior 1C teams over. Thanks, Carl. And here we go. And so we'll just go through these teams just to make things official, put them into the hat. Monavea, first up. You've got Sligo. You have got Ballinasloe. Remember, these are the teams in the preliminary round. Ballyhaunis. Corinthians. Ballinrobe. Make sure. Yep. Carib. Westport. And finally, Loughrea. Once again, just to repeat that what's going to happen here, you're going to have 7 teams who will receive a bye. So we'll draw those 7 teams out first. Brian, we'll start with you again. And the last 2 teams will be playing each other in a preliminary round. The winner of that and the 7 teams then go into the first round proper alongside the Junior 1A side. So Brian, these teams are all to receive a bye, and the team that does receive a bye, Ballinrobe. Next up to receive a bye, Carib. Our third team to receive a bye, Ballinasloe. Sly smile.
Westport. They'll be thanking me for that.
Westport thanking the Castlebar man. Never. Move on. Loughrea. We have 5 teams drawn so far. This team number 6 is Sligo. And the last of the teams to receive a bye, they are Corinthians. Michael Harding will be thanking me for that. Right, they are our teams that have received a bye. Just to recap, they're Ballinrobe, Carib, Ballinasloe, Westport, Loughrea, Sligo and Corinthians. Now they go into the first round proper, but there is still 1 preliminary round game to be played. And that will be at home. Monavea.
Monavea playing very well.
Yeah, Castle Browns will be...
won the Curly Cup.
Castle Browns will be hopping for that.
Against Ballyhaunis.
Monavea.
Going well as well.
Fascinating game in prospect. So that's our preliminary round game. Monavea at home to Ballyhaunis, 5th of January for that particular game. Now we, as I say, cross a line because we now put our 7 teams that are in the bye and the winners of that game, and we get our Junior 1A teams that come into the mix. And the Junior 1A teams, just to go through them once again, Dunmore, currently near the top of the table in the Connacht Junior 1A League. Connemara, likewise. Castlebar. The University of Galway. It's great to see them back at this level of the competition. The winner of the preliminary round game, so that's the winner of Monavea and Ballyhaunis. Craigs, who will be going to the green. Buccaneers. Ballina, and finally Tuam. So there are Junior 1A teams. So we get round 1 underway. And don't forget, we're now putting in the 1B teams as well. So you've got Corinthians, Sligo, Loughrea, Westport, Ballinasloe, Carib and Ballinrobe. This will be interesting. Brian, will you draw the first home team out, please?
Ballina.
And it's Ballina. So Craig's Road will play host. Who are they going to face?
I get killed. Corinthians.
It's Corinthians. Oh, that will be fun. They've had a couple of really good ones. That will be a real battle. That will be a lot of fun, that game.
Home draw for Ballinasloe.
Ballinasloe. And they will be at home too.
To Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Not far to travel.
No. Just down the road. Westport. Caraholly, the venue for Westport and Ballinrobe, an all Mayo battle.
Another
Not too far of a trip either. Go left at Isleneedy.
Tuam.
Garan Park, the venue for Tuam and Loughrea. Next up, I'm seeing a lot of local derbies here. Craig's, the Green, a club celebrating its 50th anniversary this season. Well done, the new book, lads.
Carb.
And they're taking on Carb.
Good young side, Carb.
Yeah. Craig's Carb games tend to be a real battle. It'll probably be on the main pitch, not the 4G. Dunmore. Another place who has its home ground they call the Green. And who's going to be travelling to Dunmore? Castlebar.
I'll definitely get shot.
Yes, you will. Dunmore, one of the form teams of the season so far. Alan Band's probably tearing his hair out what's left of it. University of Galway. And they will be in Dangan, and they will take on the winners of our preliminary round game between Monavea or Ballyhonus. And our last pairing by my guess, Connemara. To the Monastery Field we go. And
Home to Sligo.
Oh, lovely.
Ooh.
That will be absolutely. You know what? There's 8. I'm going to get your reaction, lads, in just a minute. I'm just going to go through the draw again. This is mouth-watering to say the very least. Ballina at home to Corinthians. Ballinasloe at home to Buccaneers. Westport at home to Ballinrobe. Tuam at home to Loughrea. Craigs at home to Corrib. Dunmore at home to Castlebar. The University of Galway against the winners of Monavea or Ballyhonus from the preliminary round. And Connemara against Sligo. We have got some absolute dozers to look forward to. First round game, the 5th. First round's on the 12th, actually, a week later. So for Monavea or Ballyhonus, Jimmy, I'll start with you. They're not going to get much time to recover. No. They're straight into the Lions' Den the following week against the University of Galway.
Yeah, it'll be tough to go out at Dangan there and play NUIG. Good young team, fit. But it'd be a close one, you know.
And in fairness to both clubs, they are doing extremely well. You mentioned Monavea's winning the Curly Cup. That was their first silverware in quite some time. So, you know, a team that were so big, if you remember the team of Pat Blade and those fantastic players, winning junior cups and leagues all over the shop, and the great rivalry they had with Craigs and Castlebar and Connemara in those days. It's great to see them back as well.
Oh, it is, of course. They went through a transition, but they've come out at the other end of it with a lovely young team. Themselves and Westport had a great game in the Curly Cup. It was down to 1 score, but there's a Cup Rugby again against NUIG. There'd be nothing in it.
You know, Brian, I mean, I know you've drawn Ballinasloe at home, so you're happy enough with it. Local, they like you and hate you in equal measure. Because not only did you draw Ballinasloe at home, you draw Buccaneers to face them.
Yeah, that's a tough one now for them as well. All right, you know, so a bit of rivalry there that we know goes back a long time. So there'll be a lot of interest in that game, I'm sure, John. You know, and a good crowd will turn up to support.
There'll be a great crowd, a great crowd at that. Gentlemen, both of you, I'm not going to ask you to pick out. I'll just ask an overall picture, because it would be unfair to pick out a game of the week, because you could pick out one, I could pick out one, Brian, you could pick out one. It'd be 3 different games. That's how good this draw, fair play to you, actually is. But Jimmy, I mean, those 8 games, we will have our quarterfinalists at the end of that. And as you said yourself, each and every one of those games, whether it be at Craigs Road or Ballinasloe or Caraholly, the Green, Dangan, Monastery Field, I could name each and every one of those. I better not forget Garon Park either. They're going to be occasions, as we said before.
There's dogfights there. Ballina Corinthians is a very good seconds team. Ballina are playing really well this year. Who else? Westport, Ballinrobe, always nothing in it. Castlebar, Dunmore, oh my God. We're back there again. That's going to be tough.
Westport, Ballinrobe. Actually, memory serves me right on a famous game. I called it the Angelus game because it went down to a final kick for Trevor Watson, and the Angelus bell was ringing in the background. That's how long ago I'm talking about. You know, those games are special, and they're local derbies, aren't they, Brian?
They are. They absolutely are. So as Jimmy said, there's some very tasty ones there to look forward to. So I don't know, there mightn't be too much fun over Christmas. These teams will all be very focused on those matches in early January, you know. So the best of luck to them all.
I think the Stevens' Day game will probably be the last enjoyment they have before those matches happen again. Brian, thank you so much, and thanks to Bank of Ireland for the amazing support that you've given Connacht Rugby over the years. Jamie, great to see you as always, and the very best of luck for the rest of the year in your presidency. You're going to Perpignan, I presume?
Oh, I will, yeah, of course I will. Again, I just have to say, it's all down to venues. It's about clubs giving off their pitches at critical times of the year. It depends on the winter, but you have great clubs like Craigs have an all-weather pitch, Ballina have an all-weather pitch. Some good clubs like Tuam, Westport, the finals heading to more clubs giving off their pitches, because we're building the Dexcom, and that's going to be a game changer for the whole province. Again, thanks to Bank of Ireland for their sponsorship. But if clubs can give up of their pitches, if possible, because it's going to be tough, and it's going to be tough on everybody. But the goal is the new Dexcom Stadium and getting our finals back there again, which were brilliant last year. and it's only a matter of putting up with it, and we're all in this together.
Well, I have no doubt that wherever those finals will take place, it will be an amazing event, regardless of where they are. And you know what? A full house is always going to be guaranteed. Jimmy, Brian, thank you both very much indeed. I'm just going to just recap actually regarding both draws before we wrap up, just in case you joined us and you're a bit on the late side. And if you were, where were you? The Junior 1C Cup. Just to recap, like I said, 6 teams. The 2 teams that have received a bye are Ballinan, Carey and Shannon, and it will be Galwegians against Tuam, Clare Morris against Our Ladies Boys Club, and those games on the 12th of January. Interestingly enough, actually, the 12th of January will be the draw for the first round proper of the Connacht Junior Cup, but a week previously you will have a preliminary round game between Munavay and Ballyhaunis, and then we've got round 1. What a bunch of games to look forward to. I'd argue this could be the best first round of the Junior Cup for many, many, many years. Ballina taking on Corinthians, Ballinsloe facing Buccaneers, Westport playing Ballinrobe, Tuam will play Loughrea, Craigs will play Carb, Dunmore will play Castlebar, University of Galway will face Munavay Ballyhaunis, and Munavay or Ballyhaunis, of course, will play that preliminary round game, and Connemara will take on Sligo. If you want to drop us a comment on those, please do. You can just do it in the comments section below. My thanks to Carl and also to Zoe, to the team here at Platform 94. We're here in the PWC suite, but we're not finished. We're going to just leave it for the time being. Tomorrow, join me tomorrow afternoon for the draws for the Connacht Junior and Senior Schools Cup competitions in C, B and A. We've 6 draws to bring you tomorrow. Hope you can join us then. But from here at Platform 94, with thanks to Connacht Rugby and of course to Bank of Ireland, our sponsors, I say a very good evening.